Welcome to the challenge 3187 Brivo Labs Visitor Management System Part 5. This is the Part 2 video of functional overview of this challenge. In the Part 1 we have seen the first part of the challenge, that is adding and removing invitees, sending the emails to newly added invitees and everything. In the Part 2 we are going to see how the code is updated as per the points 1 to 8. Let's see those points one by one. The first point is provide clearer, more consistent error message when OAuth fails, in particular custom settings when are not set. Let's see that. I have created one meeting, added one invitee to that. Currently I'm having no custom settings in my system. So when I click on the meeting, it tells me client secret and client name not found. Please check custom settings. Note here that when I don't find any custom settings, I'm not calling any API. I'm saving that rest. Immediately I'm throwing this message. So this is why I'm saying here, please check custom settings. This message is not returned when the application calls to get authentication for OAuth token and then displays this message. This message is shown as soon as the system finds that there are no custom settings available organization wide. I'm specifying here organization wide because we are going to give a message or note in a readme file that the custom settings should be organization wide and not the user hierarchy wise. So this is why this message is shown. So now let's set the custom settings provided in registration private details. For setting up the custom settings, I have given or created new Visualforce page initial setup where you can set client name, secret, ID and server URL. So it is easier for non-technical people. This is the client ID. This is the client name. This is the client secret. And this is the server URL. When I click on the save, the details will be successfully saved and I can go back. Can click on the meeting, it will show me the correct expected results. To select the locations first and then creating the access request. In first point, the second thing is if the first thing is if the authentication fails, we should give a consistent messages. Let's quickly change a details, or let's quickly provide a wrong details. Instead of the client name, I am providing some random client name and saving the details. Now let's see what system says when I upload the meeting or load the meeting. It says authentication failed. Client and ID and secret did not validate. This client ID and secret we did not validate message is coming as a web service response, which is I'm directly displaying to the user. So this error comes when the OAuth authentication fails. Let's change the ID to the correct one. Now the second point is updating the remote site settings included in the package to the correct URL. I'll quickly show you the remote settings updated and which are included in the package. This VMS production URL with the correct URL is created and it is updated in the package. This visitor management system package. Also I have created one app, so once you select the app you will have these 3 tabs necessary. Remote site settings are added. This one and VMS as production URL. This one. This is added to the package. This unmanaged package I'm going to provide you. And the third point, refactor the callout to SAM. There is currently a lot of HTTP level code which is repeated. Let's see this third point at the end because it is going to be a bit longer. Let's go to the fourth point, consolidated constants as much as possible. I have taken out all the hard-coded constants from service callout class and put them into the application constants. Put them into the application constants, including all the invitee statuses and response codes. So my service callout class now only contains application constants everywhere. For OAuth token, HTTP post, everything. No values are hard coded except few error messages in custom exception. I have kept those error messages custom because I think these are the standard and user may not want to change those, which are pretty clear to the user, like authorization failed and everything. We don't need to create constants for those. So this fulfills our fourth point. Remove the method getQR image URL. Let's check that. This is the service call. I'm trying to search the getQR image URL, which is removed, which is not found. The service callout, even this class, I have removed it completely, and all which will not be found. This completes the sixth point. The seventh point, clean up some JSON hackery. Some of the JSON generated using the JSON Apex methods, while some of it is done using string manipulation. I have done the string manipulation JSON in test helper class in two methods, but I have completely removed the string manipulation and written the JSON create generator, and all the response JSON needed for test methods are generated using create generator. Same for this. The string manipulation is completely removed from here. So this fulfills the seventh requirement asked, and the last is the updating the readme file. I'm going to provide you the best of the readme file which I have updated. Let's coming back to the refactoring the callout to SAM. If we see the service callout, as mentioned in the last code review challenge, the HTTP callout or creating the HTTP request is taken out into the get HTTP request instance. Here we pass the header map, endpoint URL, the HTTP method and the body. The header map contains the name value pair to set HTTP headers. The endpoint URL is to set the endpoint. The HTTP post method is the HTTP method for HTTP callout, and the body is if the request is post, then the request body. The get HTTP request method is defined here. The header values set the headers, the body sets the body, the HTTP API URL sets the endpoint URL. So complete code is taken out. Similarly, after that, make HTTP call contains making the actual call. Here it makes the actual call. If the test case is not running, then it makes the actual call with the HTTP request. I'm just taking this string parameter in this method call from. Depending on this call from method, I decide which dummy response to return when the call is from test method. So this is how it is handled. For create invite, add invite, delete invite, and checking if event invite is existed, the response is same, so I'm returning the same dummy response. So this is how the code is reduced. Then once I get the HTTP response, when the status is okay, I need to handle it differently. So I have kept that code. In the else loop, when the status is not okay, I want to handle the errors. So I have created another error method, HTTP handle response. From the 5 callouts, for whichever methods the handling the error response is same, I have taken it out and thrown a proper messages for 401, 500 error or any other errors. For those methods for which the handling the error is or messages are not exactly same, I have kept them as it is. It's not that much code repetition. So this is how this particular service callout class is optimized, which covers the third point, refactoring the callout to SM. If you see the comparison over here with the old class and the new service callout class, you will see the lot of code is taken out, which is a completely duplicate code, and instead of that, calls to common methods is done, which is expected. A lot of code is taken out, which is very repeated. Basically this get URL to this complete code is taken out, and which is handled in one method, and all the other methods are calling that. So this is how it requires all the 8 points. The scoring criteria says to provide the ability to add and remove, which we have seen in the first part. The code cleanup 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2 is covered, 3 is covered, 5 of removing the method is covered, 6 is covered, and the cleanup of JSON hackery, which are shown. All the points are covered here. Callout process is improved, code is minimized wherever it was duplicated, and the modularity is increased hence. Error handling I have shown you. I am giving the proper messages which will make user understand what steps to take even in case of OAuth issues and custom settings issues. Test coverage is 87%. Let me run all the tests in front of you. I have already run all the tests, so it's showing all the tests are passing. Used all the assertions, test start, test stop, test everything. If you run the coverage, it's 87%. So this fulfills the last scoring criteria. Now apart from that, in the last challenge was code review challenge. I have considered the winners points mentioned in the last code review challenge, and I have tried to fulfill all the issues raised by him. The first point is clear the custom settings messages. The default URL is completely removed, and a Visualforce page interface is given to set the custom settings. The remote sites are provided. The design is changed to call out the HTTP. And the fifth point, the error messages should be stored in custom labels. Some of the error messages present on meeting tokenizer page I have stored into the custom labels, these three, and some are present currently. The whichever messages are currently present on meeting tokenizer, I think the application sponsor or application user do not want to change those messages because those are pretty standard messages. That is why I have not created any custom labels for them. These custom labels I have created because these three messages, add, create, delete, are newly added into this challenge or the purpose of this challenge. So that is why whenever someone reviews this challenge, he may want to change the error messages, and he can just change the value over here and he'll be done. Already existed messages, I did not think these are important to change because those were pretty clear and standard messages. Oops, I opened the page. I need to open the controller. Like this, event token with Q. Yeah, like this. Token of the person is not available, and all these messages which are pretty standard, and I don't think anybody want to change such those messages which are pretty clear to the user. That is why I don't create any custom labels for them. So I think this is how I'm fulfilling all the requirements for this challenge, and I have shown these all this into the videos, part 1 and part 2. I think this is it for the video. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you will enjoy the reviewing the submission. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.